Well, I anticipate us being right back in contention for a championship again. Um, this year has been tough, obviously, with the pandemic and so many new players on the team. And I love our group, though. I think we have a great group. These guys come to work every day. They're eager to be great players, and we still have so much basketball left to play.
Klay's hardly alone with that assessment. Steph has also said he expects the Warriors to be right back in title contention next year. But both know the Splash Brothers, just being back on the court together, that's likely not enough in a league where cities like Los Angeles, Brooklyn, they have loaded up on superstars. So how does Golden State make sure it has the great players around Steph and Klay? Do the Warriors continue to integrate guys like Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, continue to develop James Wiseman, and use their upcoming draft picks to set themselves up for the future? The team will not only have its own pick this year, so long as it lands in the top 20, but Minnesota's as well, as long as the Wolves pick doesn't fall inside a top 3 protection. Or should the Warriors use a chunk of those assets to make a trade that would give the team a legit additional star who is more in the Steph, Klay, Draymond timeline? Warriors Twitter has a very clear opinion on that one. Half the discussions I see between fans are about not wasting the rest of Steph's prime. There's also some increasing nail-biting over Steph's contract, which currently only runs to the end of next season. Curry actually could have signed an extension this past offseason, but opted not to, in part because he can sign a longer, richer deal if he waits until this coming offseason. So him waiting, it makes sense, but it hasn't stopped even GM Bob Myers from occasionally having what Myers called, quote, paranoid fears that Steph won't stay. Perhaps that's why Myers has also said he plans to be, quote, aggressive as the trade deadline approaches. But as with all general managers at this time of year, it's impossible to know exactly what is real and what is smoke. Here's what we do know for sure. Steph Curry is now officially 33 years old, and hot pink shoes aside, the Warriors have some decisions to make. So, Paul, the Warriors have a number of options here. Yeah. What do you think they should do as the deadline approaches?
I think it's best for them to stand pat. I mean, there's not a trade out there that they can make that's going to put them in contention, because for that to happen, you're going to need somebody that's either just as good as Steph or better for you to say this Warriors team is a championship contender. And so you stand pat, you wait for Klay to come back, you reevaluate your assets and see what you can do going into next year. And they have some pretty good assets out there.
Yeah.
Pete, I have to disagree. The first thing that Golden State should do is free James Wiseman. They should not let him go anywhere, okay? Second of all, with Steph not signing the extension, I think that they should be aggressive in this trade, up-season trade decision, meaning going out there maybe trading to Andrew Wiggins and getting back a Victor Oladipo to show Steph that we are going to surround you with help and we are going to get better, not for just this year, but for next year, so that he can sign his contract this offseason and you can lock Steph in. Because with Steph not signing his contract extension, yes, I get it. He's going to get more money, but it's no guarantee. And we saw all the joy, we saw the laughter in the All-Star game between him and LeBron James, chest bumping and high-fiving. Hey, look, I'm telling you, right now I don't put nothing past anyone in the NBA. I'm just saying, Pete, I don't put nothing past anything could happen when it comes down to the NBA.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised either.
Really? Come on, both of you. I do not see Steph Curry joining up with LeBron and Lakers. That does not feel like a real fear to me. But what do you think, Paul, about Oubre? What do you think about Wiggins? And if you stand pat on the draft picks, they turn into real people. So all of a sudden, people are evaluating when they evaluate your assets before next year's trade deadline, for example. Then it's, do they like the picks you made with those picks? When they're picks, they're a little bit more to the imagination.
I mean, this is the thing. You got to evaluate. Everything that they're going through has to be surrounded around Steph. We have a window because we have a superstar player, a generational player. And so, you know, you can't make these moves unless it's going to vault you up there and so say, all right, we can play with the Lakers, we can play with the Clippers, but then if you make these type of moves by trading, like Perk said, for Oladipo, does that really make you better? Does that really say, ooh, the Warriors are a threat? No, it doesn't. It just puts you in the same position you were in yesterday. And so if there's not a trade out there, you wait till Klay comes back next year and you see what's out there on the open market for trade bait or free agency and see what you can create with your draft picks and go from there. Listen, their window is closed. I'm sorry, because there isn't a trade out there. It's not going to happen. And as these other teams get better across the league, Phoenix,
So you don't think
Utah,
Steph Curry's going to win another title?
I think it's a strong possibility that they can't win another title because they need another player that's not available and won't be available.
Yeah, but P, you mean to tell me if you next year, if you coming into the season and your starting five is Steph Curry,
Okay.
Klay Thompson,
Okay.
Victor Oladipo, Draymond Green, and James Wiseman, you telling me that that's not a team that could contend for a title or possibly win the championship in the NBA?
No, I don't think that's a team that can win a title.
And if,
they're going to be good for TV, and they'll always be good for TV as long as Steph is there, Draymond, Klay. But that's not a title contending team when you're talking about going against the teams like the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Lakers, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and the up-and-coming Utah Jazz, the Phoenix Suns. That team right there is not a contending team, Perk.
Yeah, but Paul, listen here, True. We don't know if Kawhi's going to be a Clipper next year. He didn't sign a contract extension.
Right.
So right now, he's weighing his options. And I think that the Clippers have to deliver a championship in order for Kawhi to sign back. Did you see his comments last night? He said that we're playing inconsistent.
We will talk
have
about
to play
those.
consistent
we're gonna talk about
basketball. They need a point guard. So with LeBron James getting older, which I think he still could play at the age of 46. But what I'm saying is the greatest shooting backcourt of all time, a guy, Draymond Green and James Wiseman, who is going to be better next year than James Wiseman, and you add a piece like Oladipo to that squad, they're going to be a favorite to win the title.
No, a favorite, Perk? Come on, man.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.